So today's lesson is on section 3.5 in our books covering implicit differentiation. And what implicit differentiation is the process of differentiating both sides of an equation with respect to x and then solving for y prime or dy dx. When I put that in red there with respect to x, meaning when we found derivatives in the past only pertaining to variables of x, so for example, y equals 2x squared, we notated the derivative as y prime. However, you can also notate it as dy dx. But in the right side, we did power rule. In fact, we brought that down in front, multiplied by the coefficient, 1 less power gives me 4x. What we didn't write on the tail end of it was the fact that we took the derivative of x with respect to x. Well, dx over dx becomes 1 anyway, and so we never wrote it when we did power rule problems. It wasn't necessary for us to write it for every term. However, that's what it's referring to, that if you're finding derivatives with respect to x and it's already x, well, we don't have to write that there because that reduces to 1. However, if you're taking derivatives that involve x and y, which is what we're going to be doing today, anytime we take the derivative of y today, we'd still take the derivative using power rule, so it ends up being 4y, but you took the derivative of y with respect to x, so we have to add this notation anytime we take the derivative of y today. That represents the derivative of y with respect to x, so once we have taken the derivative of both sides, the next step would be then to solving that dy dx. So here's our first example today involving implicit differentiation, where you're taking the derivatives of both sides and then solving for dy dx. If you think of these in terms of steps, the first step would be taking the derivative of both sides. And I'm going to put, again, with respect to x. So what that means for us in this problem is if I take the derivative of the left side, which is the x squared plus y squared, well, the derivative of x squared is 2x. The derivative of y squared is 2y, but since I took the derivative of y, I have to add this dy dx notation, and it's anytime you do the derivative work with y variable. On the right-hand side, the derivative of a constant is 0, so the derivative of 25 is 0. So that would be our first step. The second step would be solve for dy dx. And so if I were to try to solve for dy dx here, in this case, I would try to get it by itself. And so I would subtract that 2x term to the other side, and then to get the dy dx by itself, I would have to divide both sides by 2y. And so my final answer, dy dx, would equal, well, notice the 2's cancel, and you're left with negative x over y. And that is our dy dx, that's the derivative. In fact, a lot of our derivatives today will be in terms of x and y variables. So pretty simple steps here when you're applying implicit differentiation. However, if you get to that second step and you're solving for dy dx, in some cases you might have multiple terms of this dy dx, so you might have to get all those terms on one side, factor them out in order to solve for that dy dx, and we'll see a couple cases like that today. Notice part B says find the equation of the tangent line. And remember, to find the equation of a tangent line, we need a point, which we have, and we need the slope. Remember, the slope pertains to derivative, and since we found the derivative here, which represents slope, in order to find the slope at 3, 4, we're actually going to sub in x equals 3 and y equals 4 there, because that's the x coordinate and the y coordinate for the slope formula. So our slope, dy dx, is going to be negative 3 over 4 or negative 3/4. And so here's my slope, negative 3/4. There's my point, 3, 4. In point slope form would be y minus 4 equals negative 3/4 x minus 3, and that would be the equation of our tangent line. So here's another problem we'll go through together. It says first question says find y prime, which is the derivative of that equation. The second part pertains to finding the equation of the tangent line. And then there's a third question that says at what points is the tangent line horizontal? So we might have to think about how to answer that here. So the first step would be focusing on finding the derivative of this function. So if I follow my implicit differentiation rules, the derivative of the left would be 3x squared plus 3y squared. And remember, when you took the derivative of y, we have to add dy dx. So that would be the derivative of the left. Notice the derivative of the right. Be careful here, because that's a product of two things. In fact, that's 6x times y, or you could think of it as 6 times xy. It doesn't really matter how you write it, but it is a product, so we have to use the product rule here. And so if you think about product rule, if I let my f be the 6x, my g be the y, f prime is going to be 6, g prime, well, the derivative of y is 1, but I took the derivative of y, so you have to add dy dx. And remember, product rule is fg prime plus gf prime, and so if I put it together, it's going to be 6x dy dx plus 6y, or y times 6. So now, to find the derivative, I would have to solve for dy dx, and notice there's a couple places here where they are. So if you have a couple terms that involve dy dx, we have to get that on one side first, factor it out, and then solve for it. And so getting it on one side, I might want to subtract the 6x dy dx to both sides, and I'd also maybe want to bring this 3x squared to the other side. And so the left side is going to be 3y squared dy dx minus the 6x dy dx equals, if I move that 3x squared term over, it's going to be 6y minus 3x squared on the other side. Factor out that dy dx, because notice it's a GCF between each of these terms. What you're left with is 3y squared minus 6x inside of the parentheses there. And so to solve for that, I would divide that over. And so my final answer would be 6y minus 3x squared all over 3y squared minus 6x. And you could cancel a 3 out, making your life a little easier, especially to answer questions B and C. But if I factor out a 3 and cancel it out of each of these terms, it ends up being 2y minus x squared over y squared minus 2x. And so that would be fully simplified. There's my derivative. And so to answer the next set of questions here, finding the equation of the tangent line at the point 3, 3. So here's my point. You'd have to sub in 3, 3 for x and y in this case to find slope. And so if I sub in 3, 3, I get 2 times 3 minus 3 squared all over 3 squared minus 2 times 3. So it looks like I get negative 3 over positive 3, which is negative 1. And so it has a negative 1 slope, so y minus my y coordinate equals negative 1, x minus my x coordinate. That would be my answer for part B. And so for the last question, it says, at what points in the first quadrant, so that's kind of important there, in that first quadrant is the tangent line horizontal. And so if you think about horizontal lines, their slopes are 0. And so that would mean that this whole equation, which represents the slope, aka the derivative, that would be trying to find when this equation equals 0. And then the only time when this equation equals 0 is when the numerator is 0, because 0 divided by anything gives you 0 as a result. And so it's really about setting that numerator equation equal to 0 and trying to solve. So if I set it equal to 0, doesn't matter which variable you solve for. If I solve for y here, which ends up being a little easier because you don't have to do the square root, I would add the x squared divided by 2. So I get x squared over 2, or 1/2 x squared. And so if I want to find the actual x comma y points along that curve, I would actually have to sub this equation in, replace y with 1/2 x squared in the original problem, and try to solve for either of the variables here. And so if you look back to the original problem, it was x cubed plus y to the third equals 6xy. So if I write that out, x cubed plus y cubed equals 6xy, and what I'm going to do is replace all the y with the 1/2 x squared and try to solve for x. when I do that and try to solve, so simplifying this, I get x cubed plus expanding that 1/2 x squared to the third gives me 1/8 x to the sixth. And if I multiply that right side out, I get 3x to the third. And so I could subtract, or I could get all the terms on one side. So if I subtract the x cubed over, it gives me 2x cubed. If I subtract the 1/8 x to the 6th over, you're solving this polynomial, which notice I can factor out an x to the third. In fact, if I factor out the x cubed, I'm left with 2 minus 1/8 x to the second equals 0. And so one answer would be when x equals 0. And if I sub in 0 for my original green equation, which is right here, one of the points is going to be at 0, 0. So we know one of the areas is at the origin, and then the other point's going to happen inside here solving for that value. So if I try to solve that and set it equal to 0, adding that 1/8 x squared term over, multiplying by 8 to the other side and taking the square root, I believe I get x to the fourth as my answer, or x equals 4 as my answer. And so if x equals 4, if I plug in 4 now here for this equation, because it has to satisfy that as well, if I plug in 4 for x, it looks like I get an answer of 8. And so another answer would be at 4, 8. And those would be the 2 points where they're horizontal. So let's take a look at a couple other problems here before we have you guys try some on your own. This one, it says find the second derivative now if x to the fourth plus y to the fourth equals 16. So this is one involving second derivative work with implicit differentiation. So let's just first focus on finding the first derivative, which is the derivative of both sides. And so if I did derivative work here, it'd be 4x cubed plus 4y cubed dy dx equals the derivative of 16 is 0. And so if I try to solve for dy dx by subtracting the 4x cubed and divided by the 4y cubed, I get negative 4x cubed over 4y cubed, which 4's cancel, and it's left with negative x cubed over y cubed. And so this would be my first derivative. So if I wanted to find the second derivative, notice to find the second derivative, I would actually have to use the quotient rule. Now the notation's kind of weird, but the notation for second derivative in implicit differentiation is d squared y over dx squared. That represents the second derivative. So it's a weird notation we use. However, the real focus is finding the derivative of that right side, which is by quotient rule. And so if I do the bottom function first, which is y cubed, multiplied by the derivative of the top, and I know I'm not following the formula here, just kind of doing some shortcuts, minus the top function multiplied by the derivative of the bottom, which the derivative of y cubed would be 3y squared, but since you took the derivative, we have to add that dy dx, over the bottom squared, which ends up being y to the sixth. So if I clean things up a little bit, it'd be negative 3x squared y cubed plus 3x cubed y squared dy dx all over y to the sixth. And so notice our second derivative involves dy dx as well, the first derivative. And we actually have something for dy dx. We already solved for that. That's x cubed, negative x cubed over y cubed. So with these second derivative ones, anytime you're finding the second derivative, so with the second derivative, you're always subbing in the first derivative wherever that might be. And so our final answer would be negative 3x squared y cubed plus 3x cubed y squared, and you're subbing in the negative x cubed over y cubed in for that derivative. And the book might have it a little bit simplified. In fact, you could cancel the y squared over y cubed and call it over y. You could do common denominator work on top, bringing that y in the bottom, but remember that this is fully acceptable as a final answer. So with this in mind, there's a couple AP free response questions that a lot of times pop up on the AP exam. In fact, you'll have 6 questions on the free response section on the AP exam, and usually one of those 6 ends up being some kind of implicit differentiation type problem. So notice here in part A, it says show that dy dx equals the negative x plus 1 over 2 parentheses y cubed plus 1. So it's kind of nice in the sense that you know what the derivative should be. It's just a matter of fact, can you show it to be written the exact same way. So this is a problem that I want you guys to try out on your own. I have the key on the next slide that you can check your answers when you pause the video here and work it out. But notice part A is just simply find the derivative. Part B is finding the equation of a tangent line. So you have that point. Don't forget to sub in that x comma y point for this derivative to figure out slope, and then it's point slope form from there. And then that last part C is a little bit challenging. It says find 2 points on the curve where the line is vertical. The tangent line is vertical. So remember, vertical tangent lines happen when the slope is undefined. And so if you have your slope equation already there, wherever it's undefined is when you're dividing by 0. So it's really about setting that bottom equation equal to 0, solving for y if you can, and then coming up with your final answer. It says find 2 points, so you're actually going to have to come up with both answers of x comma y in the end. So try your best on that last part, and again, pause the video and work this out the best you can, and we'll go over the answer here in a few seconds. So hopefully you had a chance to kind of work it out. Here's the key that the AP exam gives us, so you can kind of check your answers with the key here. If you took the derivative of a, remember you'd have to add that dy dx to those last 2 terms because they involve y functions, so make sure you do that, which means you would have to subtract that 2x over, subtract that 2 over, which you see here. And factoring out the dy dx in both terms, you'd have to divide that over, and notice they cancel the 2 out of each of those terms, so that's how we get to that stage. And hopefully by subbing in the coordinate that you found the slope to be 1/4 here, and so by point slope form, here's your answer. Now notice they don't have point slope form, however either form is acceptable on the AP exam, and so you should have got something like that in the end. And then the last part C, a little bit trickier. Again, mentioned before, vertical lines happen when the slope is undefined, so that's when the denominator is 0. And so if you set that denominator equal to 0, you're going to find, by subtracting 1 and taking the cube root, that's when y equals -1. And so if you sub in the point y equals -1 to the original curve, so going back to the original problem and subbing in and replacing all the y's with -1, you're going to get a quadratic in the end. In fact, you're going to get a quadratic where you get 2 x values if you factor that out. And so the 2 answers, when the y coordinate's -1, you get an x coordinate of -4 and an x coordinate of +2. So here's your homework for the day. Don't forget to keep up on the homework. If there's any questions that you're struggling on, don't hesitate to reach out and get some that extra help. I'm here to support you whenever possible. So good luck and try your best, and we'll see you tomorrow.